Renault Kwid has been around for more than a year now.
Car became an instant success and Renault has done the right thing by giving us more options on the Kwid, thereby making the car more acceptable to the buyer. So first came the 1 litre variant a couple of months back, and now Renault has got us the AMT variant of the car. Now in today's times, AMTs work really well because they give you the convenience of an automatic at an affordable cost and almost the same mileage as a manual variant. So how good is the new Renault Kwid AMT? Let's try and find out today on the show.
Few cars have managed to challenge the might of Maruti Suzuki when it comes to small cars in India. The Kwid, in its year-long presence in India, has done exactly that. It's given Renault a much-needed boost in a very competitive and unforgiving market. The shortcomings that came with the 800cc variant were made up with a more powerful 1 litre variant, and what remained has been done now with this new AMT avatar. Renault first showed the Kwid AMT at the Auto Expo earlier this year, and since then the wait has been on to see how this automated manual transmission model performs. AMTs have been received very well in India as they offer convenience of an automatic along with affordability and maintenance of a manual gearbox, and it is precisely this reason why the French carmaker is betting big on the Kwid AMT.
Now surely the biggest reason why the Kwid has been so popular since the car was launched is because of the way it looks. The design worked really well with the Indian buyer who wants cars that look like SUVs even if they do not perform like SUVs. So this was a small car that was affordable and it looked like a crossover, had that plastic cladding all over the car which worked really well with the consumer. Signature grille on the front, the big logo, the Renault logo with chrome, and even on the sides the cladding, the almost squarish wheel arches. This one of course is a 1 litre variant, so that 1 litre badging on the doors. The only thing that gives it away when compared to the normal 1 litre AMT is the Easy R badge on the rear of the car. Apart from that, everything is similar when compared to the normal 1 litre Kwid that you've seen earlier.
The Kwid without any doubt is the best looking small car in India. Its sporty dimensions add a lot of character to the car, and in a segment where looks really matter, a good looking car that starts at under 3 lakh rupees, it's bound to do well. The bold and imposing looks cater to the demands of the buyer, and look at it from any angle, the car looks attractive. The high ground clearance of 180mm, the rear spoiler and the tall stance add muscle and shape which makes the car look akin to an SUV.
Well, as is the case with the exteriors, the interiors too remain the same on the Kwid AMT, apart from the fact that of course instead of the gear lever you have a rotary dial now, which is a good feature to have in the car because it saves a lot of space for keeping other things. So instead of the conventional gear lever here in between the two front seats, what I get is a big 1 litre bottle holder, which is a good ergonomic addition to the car. Apart from that, another thing that has worked really well for the Kwid inside is the options of storage that you get. Apart from the doors, you also get almost 3 glove boxes here. 2 of them can be shut and the third one is an open glove box, so you can use all 3 to store stuff. And since the AMT will only come in the top variant for the time being, so therefore the car will also get the AVN system, which also has been much talked about. Of course, apart from radio, also gets navigation and maps. It's a touchscreen system, cannot be seen on any other car in this segment. And apart from that, the digital instrument cluster right in front of you. So those are the highlights inside the Kwid.
The dial only has 3 options, which are neutral, drive and reverse, and there's no option of driving the car manually as is the case with the WagonR auto gear shift. If you already own a Kwid, you know by now it's a practical car to be in, and the absence of a conventional gear lever makes it only better. The power window switches are placed in the middle of the dash, while the second row misses out on power windows altogether.
Now when it comes to space and comfort on the second row especially, the Kwid has been one of the better cars in the segment where 3 people can sit with relative ease and comfort. They also have 3 seat belts here for all the passengers, though there are only 2 headrests and they cannot be adjusted, which is the case on the front row as well. But considering for somebody as tall as me, the seat on the front is right now adjusted for my height and reach, and I am sitting at relative ease here with adequate headroom as well as shoulder room, so not too much to complain about. As I said, one of the better seats cars in the segment when it comes to the second row.
On this first drive of ours on the outskirts of Mumbai, we didn't get too much traffic, which is the ideal breeding ground for AMTs. But a few hours with the car gave us a sense of how this Easy R variant performs, as Renault likes to call it.
Renault has surely done the smart thing by launching the AMT in the 1 litre variant and not the 800cc variant. Surely gives you more power, and 67 bhp is adequate to take on the needs of an AMT gearbox. And this surely has to be one of the better AMT gearboxes around in the segment. We saw the AMT gearbox in the Duster as well, and there also we were impressed with the way the AMT performs, and here also the story is the same. Now there is a lag in the initial gears, especially when you go from 1 to 2, but apart from that there's hardly any lag, and the gear shifts are pretty smooth all the way to the top.
The downshifts also are a breeze, and there's hardly anything to complain about. The 91 Nm of peak torque really comes in handy in gear shift situations. The 5-speed gearbox is paired to a 4-cylinder Smart Control Efficiency or SCE motor. The 5-speed AMT has been developed in-house by Renault with the assistance of Bosch. The company says that the software in the system helps in faster commands, which results in prompt gear shifts.
Of course, you can't compare an AMT gearbox to a conventional auto gearbox or a CVT, but they also come at a much higher price and give you much lesser mileage. So there are advantages and disadvantages with the AMT that you drive.
Conventionally, automatics have been far less fuel efficient than manuals. The story with the AMTs has changed that, and how. In fact, some give even better mileage than their manual counterparts. That exactly is the story with this Kwid AMT, which at 24 km per litre is more fuel efficient than the manual variant.
A lot of AMTs come with something called a creep function, which helps in the car moving forward when you put the car in the drive mode. Now Renault has not put that feature on the Kwid, which means that when you put the car in D mode, the car doesn't move forward until and unless you press the accelerator, and only then the car will go ahead. Now one thing that hasn't changed with the Kwid is its ride quality through all its variants. In fact, it has got even better. So with the AMT also you get some fantastic ride quality, and in this segment that's a big thumbs up to Renault.
While the driver airbag is an option, what's missing on the Kwid AMT is ABS, which means the car is suited more to the slow-moving city traffic. The company would also not like to repeat the recall story that happened with the 800cc variant to do a preemptive and voluntary inspection of the fuel system and to add a hose clip. Nearly 1 lakh sales of the Kwid all in a year are a huge testimony to the car, and the AMT surely has in it to take the success story forward. What also may tilt the story in Renault's favour is that the Kwid AMT is priced at 4.2 lakh rupees ex-showroom Delhi. That is only about 20,000 rupees more than the manual variant, and more importantly, almost a lakh rupees cheaper than its prominent AMT rivals from Maruti, the Celerio and the WagonR.
This AMT gearbox on the Kwid is surely one of the better gearboxes around in the market right now. Surely has a potential to make the Kwid even more popular than what it is right now. But Renault still needs to work on one thing. Not the car is good, but customer satisfaction. And if that is done, then surely the company can bank on the Kwid for good sales.